joining us on the show today, Manasi Scott, a fabulous singer, actor, songwriter. Manasi, it's great to have you on this International Women's Day, especially after you've been incredibly busy with a slew of concerts, one of which we had, the fortune to witness, and beautiful there at the City Palace in Jaipur. Thanks for joining us on ET Now, and tell us a little about what's been keeping you busy during life in COVID and right after COVID as well, if we can call it that.
Hi, Ava. Thank you for having me on the show. Yes, it is, though I believe every day should be celebrated, it's always good to have a day dedicated just to us as a reminder to just stop and breathe, take pause and say we're women and we're amazing. So thank you for having me on the show. Post-COVID, you can't call it. I think this is here to stay. I think we've got to just move ahead in a new way of being and living, hopefully in a kind of more empathetic world. So life before lockdown was insanely busy. I've always been in the live circuit industry. A couple of years ago, I was given a Powerlist Award by Femina for over 2,047 concerts across the world that they had counted. So I think I've definitely kind of crossed the 3,500 mark for sure. We did Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas's wedding. I was the only performer invited. That kind of just, pushed us into a different league altogether. At that point in time, people started taking me seriously as a musician, if I could say that. But then we got hit with this insane, I don't know what to call it, pandemic, massive reset. And I literally, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually very happy being alone by myself. I'm a single child and I was home, and I was actually very happy with the time that I got with myself. Of course, my wonderful now 14-year-old son was with me, and I was one of the lucky ones that had full-time house help. So I just decided that I wanted to spend more and more time with music. At that point in time, the horse riding that I was doing every morning got cut off as well because everything went into lockdown. So music was the only thing that I wanted to spend time with. And then I have this wonderful DJ producer friend called DJ Skip, India's only turntablist, who said, get on live and do a live show. And I was like, how do I do this? And then, discovered Instagram Live. And in fact, Skip and I have a song called Constellations that's coming out very soon. It was a sort of a live event to promote that launch. But I got on with, I think, one song on the first day. And Skip just called me back and said, babe, you have to do this every day. So we went up to 30 minutes and then we had that 1 hour lockdown on Instagram. And I literally did this with no equipment, with a portable speaker that was spinning out sound, my DJing equipment. I learned a software and I went 179 shows back to back over 151 days.
Fabulous. So you said then the last few weeks, a little bit of a gap, and now you've got a lot of other new things that are coming up as well. Lots that's keeping you on your toes.
Yes, 31st December, which was also my birthday. I went back onto stage after 10 months. I can't describe the feeling. It was insane. I was in Goa at the W New Year's Eve party, and it was just, I think, the best way to spend the birthday. I was so blessed, felt so grateful that I was back on stage. And then from then we've done about 3 other gigs, one of which, of course, you've recorded in Jaipur. Few weddings have taken off, but more than that, I have composed a lot of songs in lockdown. So one of them, a Punjabi English one called Kitthe Challi, is going to be releasing very soon on 9XM. We shot a new video. I've composed music for 3 different ad film brands. So we're doing sound design, composition, got back to doing voiceovers. I just said, life, if not short, is definitely unpredictable. And before we get hit with something that, that's going to take away all our energy and all our joie de vivre, I better get down to doing everything that I have to do. So 10th June, the Amateur Writers Club opened up. So I literally, till December, woke up at 4:45 every morning, meditated for 45 minutes, drove to, the 25 minutes to the race course, rode a horse, walked 7 kilometers and came back home and then did a show. So I think spending that kind of time with myself has just resulted in so much more music and so much more content that I'm creating that I want to be remembered for. So you're going to see a lot that's coming out over the next few months, and I hope that everybody loves it as much as we love making it, producing it, and shooting it.
I'm sure we will, Manasi, and it's so inspiring to hear, the kind of things that you're doing, the number of things that you're doing, the kind of passion you have for your work, and the fact that you're finding creativity every day and finding new things to kind of work with, new people and platforms as well. You're also getting into acting, and I would love to know a little bit more about that and where we can look forward to seeing you, what kind of roles you're taking on.
You know, when people say you're getting into acting, I really wish there was social media when I was doing theatre. I've actually done amateur theatre for many, many years. So I have been acting for a long time. It's just that I've not actively gone out and ever sought for work. So whatever comes into my lap, I do it. So I had, I did my first film when I was 19 in 3 languages. It was a Tamil film called Snediye, which was also shot simultaneously in Malayalam and in Kannada. I did playback singing as far back as that, again in the South. Then I did a movie opposite John Abraham called Chuta Hi Sahi, which would have been a great film. I think Series of Errors just kind of pushed it to the bottom of the pile. Then I played a standalone villain in a movie called Bhag Johnny, which had Kunal Khemu, and I had a blast. I want to do more roles where people can call me to be a villain because it's the most exciting role ever. Then, of course, the web series started. Of course, I have done Millie on Star Plus and hosted a lot of shows like Glamorous on Zoom. But we didn't have social media in those days to really put our work forward. So it still takes people a little time to go through your profile and see that you fit the role. So currently on Sony Live, I've got Love Bites 2. I've got a small cameo in Kaushiki on Live. Entered comedy, mainstream Indian comedy with a show called Baby Kamna on Alt Balaji opposite Shreyas Talpade. And then I've got my massive, very close to my heart show called The Remix on Amazon Prime. And if anybody's watching from all these channels, please, I'm available, I act. So looking for roles anytime.
So what I find fabulous is how you're constantly reinventing yourself as a professional, as an artist. And, you mentioned Joe Rivera earlier, and I really see that. I've watched you perform virtually, of course, but also live. And I know how you can really get the crowd going with your energy. Share with us a little what it takes as a woman, someone who's achieved so much, to really get out there, make a name for yourself. What a message perhaps for other young women looking to do the same.
I think this might sound flaky to some, trivial to some, but really the simplest part of being on stage and bringing everything that you have is being downright honest with who you are as a person, to yourself and to your audiences. I've made mistakes on stage, owned up there and then. I've asked the audience for help in scripts when I had to convert an English script to a Hindi script with 5 minutes to go. I think the most important thing is truth, and the second most important thing is to shine your light. And by that I mean, if you can learn to accept the people around you, learn to take the best out of the energies around you, will always be great on stage. I've seen people who walk off stage drained, exhausted. I literally feed off the energies, because I think if you can have a group of people, so many people in front of you that you can influence and bring closer together, make them more empathetic, make them enjoy a moment together, show them community, show them camaraderie through 12 notes, different permutations and combinations, then I think it's the most blessed job in the world, and I've always tried to do right by it, been honest, and it's the audience, it's about that crackling fire you feel, it's like, I think Russell Brand said it's like being dead and alive, like standing at the edge of a cliff. It's like, it's all emotions in one. And if you can literally expose that to a crowd, you'll never fail. And I think that's where the energy comes from, that give and take. I know it sounds very philosophical now that I think about it, but it really is that for me. For me, it's just human connection, and that drives me every day.
Manasi, since we are also having this conversation around Women's Day, so many women hold back from pursuing their interests. And someone like yourself who's cultivated so many different interests, and also is someone who would not be afraid to go out there and be on the edge, push a little further, try to create a new experience, for yourself as well as your fans. Share with us perhaps a moment that embodies that, something that you experienced, a highlight, or how you've grown to be, so fearless when it comes to these things. Is it just about pursuing your love and your passion, or do you feel it takes something else?
Again, I think I'm one of those blessed ones. Abha, I don't know if you know, but I'm actually a software engineer graduate. I topped my class. I had a scholarship to MIT. I had a placement at Apple decades ago. And it was my father, who is a pediatric surgeon, retired as a general. He's no more, but it actually took my father telling me, if all the good guys leave the country, what's going to happen to India? Stay back and do something for the nation and pursue singing. My God, you can sing. You're great on stage. He was also a drummer singer through college, but I think, those days they didn't have the kind of opportunities that we did. So he played the drums and sang, of course, in army messes. But it was my father that pushed me into the arts and said, make a career out of it. And he used to just say, I'm there, backup's there. Mom and dad have been my strongest supporters. I won my first singing competition when I was 7. He tried to get me to learn Carnatic music, tried to get me to learn the guitar, but I was always like, I'm going to be a doctor or an engineer. I literally graduated, got my call letters, and I remember sitting there in my principal's office and them going, you can't give up a scholarship to, this will change your life. And I was like, no, I'm going to go do a postgrad in Bombay. So I called dad, he was posted to INHS Ashwini. My mother is still the director of Pune Hospital, so I was between two places and I said, listen, get a house, I'm coming to Xavier's, I'm doing mass comm. Realized at that point in time that I'm better in front of the camera than behind it. But really, it was my parents and the support at home, and I say I'm lucky. But for the people who don't have it, who are not lucky enough or blessed enough to have it, following your dream is following your dream. Even if you're not doing it currently, you've got to earn a living, you've got to make ends meet. Don't forget the dream. If you voice it tangibly into the universe, it is bound to happen for you, but you have to believe in it. You can't let it go. So what if it doesn't happen in your 20s? So what if, I remember Baman Irani saying life started for him at 40. You don't know when it's going to happen for you. Never forget the dream, and everything else is just the journey to that gorgeous dream, right? So I would just say in my learning now is to just be in the moment. If you're unhappy doing something, try to find a way which internalizes happiness so that you can, do your day-to-day jobs. You can still focus on the dreams, still keep pushing towards it. If you're lucky enough where money is not an issue and you've got everything in place, then stop everything that you're doing and follow the dream. But really, it is about being kind to yourself. Women, really supporting other women. I'm also very, very blessed to have a tribe of women around me. When I make one set of friends meet another set of friends, I suddenly realize how blessed I am to have this incredible tribe of women around me that uplift me every single day, as I hope I uplift them. It's also about just being kinder to the next person next to you, and everything tends to follow. I've heard stories of friends of mine who heard something that I told them and actually helped a stranger out in an aircraft, and it turned out that stranger ended up giving them their dream job. So you never know what clicks where. Just never lose sight of the dream. If you have the means to pursue it, do it right away. Attempt as much, but nothing external can bring happiness or bring you, the joy or the bliss or the peace or the balance that you're looking for within. That is only you to you. Everything else is just a journey. So don't sweat the small stuff or fret the big stuff. Just keep at it, keep going. That's all I can say.
That's beautiful. Manasi, thank you so much for sharing that, and I'm sure it'll touch the hearts of many women that are listening to this interview. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us here on ET Now.